Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. I totally just filmed Self-Worth Saturday a minute ago. That was yesterday because you'll be watching this on Sunday or later. I just realized that my face felt like it was red the whole time. I had forgotten to turn on my brighter light. So I was just like, I'm so red. It's getting so dark. What is happening? That's what was happening. Yep. That's not why we're here. So we are here to go over my weekly deck review. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Sorry I'm being so ridiculous and silly, but I'm a little squirrely today, so there you go. But what I like to do on Sundays is talk about the decks I worked with the previous week. So I will work with one tarot and one oracle deck, with some exceptions for clients and study and things like that. But for my own personal daily draws and my own personal readings, I typically stick with just these focused decks for the week. I use them in my Instagram challenges. I use them when I want to just look at cards and play with cards. I'll pull into my weekly decks. And this week I have been working with, I know you're like, what is that? That's a box. This box, my nephew gave this to me like years ago and I love it. It's like my favorite tarot box. But I am working with the Tyldwick Tarot. Now, the artist behind this deck, I believe his name is Neil Gaiman. I will put it in the description box down below. He did, unfortunately, pass away unexpectedly last fall. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't get this deck unless you find it in stock at a retailer somewhere. I managed to get a hold of a copy at Northwest Tarot Symposium in Portland this year, and it's a deck that I've had on my radar for a really long time, but the cost of bringing it in with shipping and exchange rate and all of that stuff to Canada was just too much. This deck is absolutely stunning. One of the things I found when I first had this in my hands and went through it card by card is that it is a slow deck. This is not the kind of deck that you can, I was going to say just whip out and throw on your table, but that sounds really bad. I guess what I mean is you can't just like throw a bunch of cards down. I mean, maybe you can. I can't. Throw a bunch of cards down and just pull out a reading. I feel like this requires a moment in each card to just sit and explore. This is an excellent deck for pathworking, and I found myself almost unintentionally pathworking every time I pulled a card. It's like I felt like I got pulled into a physical space, I guess a non-physical physical space, and explored that room or that space and felt its energy. It's a really unique experience that's hard to describe unless you've worked with this deck or played with this deck or handled this deck. The images on the screen don't fully do it justice, but I will say that it has a bit of a dark tone to it, so you do need to pause and look. The colors are muted and as if they almost have like a dusty veil on everything. So there's this feeling of age, and there's this feeling of walking into or through an old house that hasn't been lived in for a while. So it's not that fresh, vibrant, moving energy that so many decks seem to have. This is a very still, contemplative, is that how you say that? Kind of energy. I find myself even, I don't know if you've noticed, even just slowing down when I'm talking about this deck and looking at the images in the screen. So I found that I got very poignant messages. I found it really easy to pull meanings out of for my daily draws and for my challenge prompts and things like that. I found that when I pulled these cards, they felt rich and full of depth. And I really enjoyed my experience with this deck. It will be one that I reach for if I am reading for somebody on really serious topics, or if I need to read for myself on serious topics, or for past life readings, or for, I don't know, I feel like there's just so many reasons why I would be called to pull into this deck, but it does not feel like a light or fluffy kind of deck. I wouldn't pull into this deck for, say, a romance reading just off the cuff, but I might pull into this deck if I wanted to look into long-standing family issues or long-standing marriage issues things like that. I feel like this could actually be really good at looking at like history, things that have built up over time. And I really, really feel like there's so much to learn and discover. And that's the other thing, partly because the images aren't so crisp and bold. They're kind of collage style, and you can see again kind of muted. Like, it takes a second to even realize what you're looking at. And I think because of that, there's this opportunity to almost like discover new secrets in every card each time you pull that card. So in case it's not obvious from the images I'm holding up, there really aren't any people in this deck. In the court cards, you will see pictures. Yeah, that's a page of coins. So there's a little portrait right up there. You will see images of people like hanging on the walls, but you won't actually see figures in this deck because it's more of an environmental imagery. Oh, this one's so good. The Lovers. Oh, that explains it. I don't have enough good things to say. I'm so pleased to have this in my collection, and I do feel like if you have an opportunity, if you're really drawn to this and you have an opportunity to pick up a copy or get your hands on it, it's very worthwhile, if for no other reason that this is very unique. This is not the kind of deck that has ever been duplicated. It's not a clone of anything else. It's very, it's really in a class of its own. It is gold gilded. And as I mentioned, I did shuffle it my normal way. I was not extra cautious with it. I feel like the gilding held up really, really well. There are some places where some gilding or there's like a chipping that's happened. And I don't know if that chipping, I think it shows up more on the backs. Yeah, here, I'll fan the backs for you. So you might see some little flashes of white, like up here. That's where I've noticed chipping. And yet, funny enough, when I smoosh the cards back together, like you can see maybe a little bit is missing right here. But for the most part, the gilding seems to stay really, really well. And I've shown decks before where the gilding has just worn really quickly. This feels really, really high-end and nice. I believe this is French gold gilded. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do. But it was originally billed as a bit of a luxury deck, so it was kind of expensive. These are what the backings look like. Again, this is called the Tyldwick Tarot. And there's just, yeah, I feel like I don't remember where I first encountered this, but I knew what it was the second I saw the box, which is interesting because the box has no title on it. I don't have the tuck box here with me because I've been keeping it in this wooden box, which is where it's going to continue to live. But the tuck box has a lot of imagery on it, but it doesn't have like the name of the deck anywhere on the box, which is really kind of more mysterious and interesting. So that is where I'm keeping mine. This was amazing. Love it. The other deck that I was working with this week, or the Oracle deck that I was working with this week, is the Botanical Inspirations deck. This is by Lynn Araujo. I'm really bad at pronouncing people's names. I'm so sorry. This is kind of neat. It opens this way, which I love. It comes with it comes with a few things actually. There is an artist card, which I've got here in the bottom. There's a ribbon in the box. I keep the artist card just tucked underneath the ribbon because I don't want it to get mixed up with the cards. It also comes with a fold-out sheet that says the secret language of flowers, and for each of the flowers that will be pictured in the deck is what it means, like the Victorian meaning from giving and exchanging flowers as a way of sort of conveying feeling or messages. So this has got all the little meanings and like a quick reference guide. I am considering laminating this and putting this in my Book of Shadows to reference so that it's not just tucked away in this box with this deck. Thinking about it. I haven't decided for sure, but I think I might do that. It also comes with a really wonderful little guidebook. This is a US Games deck. The guidebook has a image of the artwork of the flower with the name of the flower, I'm really bad at what these are called. I never looked it up. The scientific-y kind of name. I think it's like the species or somebody feel free to correct me in the comments down below. And the quote. So every card has a little quote on it. So for example, for Pansy, it is pray you love, remember, and there are pansies. That's for thoughts. And it's an unknown credit. And then there is a little bit of information about the flower and how it was used or perceived when given as gifts. And an inspirational message here that is really, really lovely. The cards themselves have the name of the deck on the back. I'm not a big fan of that, but they are pretty on the back there. And then the cards themselves have this really wonderful parchment look to them. The artwork of each flower is really lovely. And I found that this just looked beautiful next to the Tyldwick Tarot. So they played really nicely together that way. You could almost imagine that these were the flowers that had sprouted up in the gardens around that particular house. So that was kind of a cool little mechanic, I guess. I really, really enjoyed these. I do find that they're pretty uplifting. This isn't the kind of thing I would pull for, say, a divination reading where I want balance. I feel like these are great for, say, tying off a reading or adding a nice little focal point at the end. That sort of thing. I enjoyed the little bits of wisdom from the quotes, and I do enjoy tarot that incorporates, or oracles that incorporate quotes, because I really enjoy quotes. So I like the layer of meaning you can dig into with that. And I just really love the way these are illustrated. So I really did enjoy working with it. I think it looks beautiful. I really was such a sucker for this parchment look on the background. I just loved it. So yes, I had fun with that. This is definitely something I would almost view as more affirmation style than oracle style. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, you will definitely enjoy this one, I think. If you like botanicals, if you like beautiful artwork, there's a lot of reasons why you might really enjoy that one. I'm going to have another sip of my beverage. It's water in my My Little Pony cup, which is happiness in a cup. Let's talk about what I'm going to be working with next week, because that's always one of... Oh, wait, before I do that, the reading cloth that I was using, so you guys know that my wifey makes all the reading cloths and bags, usually hanging back there. And I always have a link to her shop down below because she's my wifey, and I like to, you know, tell you guys how amazing she is. But I had this lovely embroidered goddess cloth. I mostly actually, though, use the background, which is this really gorgeous botanical print in this really lovely, like, pastel pink and sagey green and baby blue. I'm in love with this one. This one's so pretty. And behind the Botanical Oracle and the Tyldwick, this just looked fantastic. So I had that behind, I think, almost all of my Instagram posts this last week. But I really, really enjoy this one. It's just beautiful. All her stuff is beautiful, but that one was really fun, especially with those decks. So really, really enjoyed that. And let's talk about decks for next week. Okay. You guys ready for this? I'm so excited. So some of you guys know I actually pre-ordered this deck, the Mermaid Tarot by Leeza Robertson and illustrated by Julie Dillon. I pre-ordered this deck before it was even out, but there was a whole kerfuffle where it took a really long time to get to me because it was routed out of the UK, which I thought I ordered it from a Canadian retailer, and apparently not. So it shipped to me out from the UK, and then there was a damaged card in here that then damaged some cards around it. So there was this whole big thing where I eventually got in touch with Llewellyn Customer Care. They did so right by me. They had new cards, replacement cards, in the mail to me the same day I emailed them, and I got the replacement cards like a week later. So that was pretty amazing, and I am so thrilled to be able to finally dig into this bad boy. So I bought this deck very much on a whim. The first time I saw the artwork, I just thought it was so gorgeous. I saw like 3 preview images and I was like, bye. I was really excited. And this comes in one of those really nice new magnetic boxes that Llewellyn is doing right now. So I haven't worked with the deck yet. I've literally just flipped through the cards. But it does come with a nice big guidebook that is full color and has full page. Oh, it smells so good. These full color guidebooks have that really inky smell. I just love it. Anyways, full color images, and I'm hoping to read this entire guidebook this week, so I will keep you posted about how that goes. The cards themselves are borderless and gorgeous. They feel like the exact same cardstock as the Tarot of the Hidden Realm, if you have that deck, or the new Borderless Mystic Fairy, if you have that deck. It's just beautiful. I'm such a water baby, so I'm really, like, water is my element. Like, I love water. And I'm very watery, and I'm totally Sun in Cancer. Like, I'm so excited to work with this deck. These are the backings. So I will let you guys know how it played next week, or how it worked, how I got on with it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Look at the inside of the box, has a fishy and a ribbon. It's very exciting. So I am really stoked to dig into this now that my deck is whole again. Yes, I cannot wait. So I'm going to be playing with that this week. And the Oracle deck that I'm going to be working with this week is the Hedgewitch's Botanical Oracle. So another botanical. Look at this adorable like zippered pouch. It has these like bottles with these plants in it. This is where I'm keeping this deck right now. Because I'm also using this deck, or intending to use this deck for my magical practice as well. But this is by the same artist who did the Line Strider Oracle, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the name, but it's on the book. Last name is Thompson. Ciolo? I just said I was going to try to pronounce it, and then I did it anyways. Apparently I don't follow my own rules very well. Anyways, this is a botanical oracle. So a similar idea to what I worked with last week, but a very different art style. And this one is plant-based, not just flower-based. So there's a lot of different types of plants and plant energies in here. Some are flowers, some are not. So I am looking forward to playing with this one. And I like that this one feels a little bit balanced. Like I feel like there's words like defend, persevere. Oh no, that's preserve. Can't read. Build, nourish, soothe, stabilize, sustain, adaptation. Caution. My first gut instinct when I first flipped through this deck is that it was going to be fairly balanced, but we will see how it does. These are the backings. So I am looking forward to playing with this, and I will keep you guys posted about how it works and plays. But I thought it'd be kind of nice to provide a little bit of like earthiness and groundedness next to the Mermaid Tarot. So we will see how these work and how they play together. And the reading cloth that I have snagged from my wife's stash, so it's now mine, is this one. So it's got like this wood pattern on the front and this really cool like stone pattern on the back. And I just thought that would be so pretty next to the vibrant colors of the Mermaid Tarot. So this is the cloth that you will see behind my cards in any Instagram posts or things like that that I do this upcoming week. I will let you guys know how everything works out next week, and as always, I really love hearing your guys' thoughts on these decks too. So if you own any of them, if you have worked with them, or if you want to work with them, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm ever curious to hear how things are working out for you guys, and I will let you all know next week. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Talk to you later. Bye.